after Joey Diaz. All right. Like, and yeah, welcome to Keyboard Warriors and all that. But look, Joe, you're gonna go after Joey Diaz for fucking
saying what he said. He says that all the time.
Yeah, dude, it's Joey Diaz. Anyway, real quick. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Keyboard Warriors, presented by RaptorWarriors.com. My name is Eddie Law. That's Fred Kirby. That's just Bacava. Should be joined soon by another guest. Joel Paredes should be jumping on here at some point. Yeah, dude. So the Joey Diaz thing is probably the funny thing that happened on Saturday night. All right, if you guys missed it, I don't even know if he tweeted out during the fight or after. But Joey Diaz said something about like, I bet Mackenzie Dern's ass smells tremendous right now. Right? I died laughing when I saw that fucking tweet. Apparently, some people didn't. All right, fair enough. Get butthurt if you want to, but come the fuck on. That shit was funny. And you saw that shit, right, Fred?
Yeah, I didn't see the backlash though. What were people like saying that he was being too vulgar or he shouldn't be talking about a female fighter like that or something?
Yeah, exactly. So and a bunch of like some of the MMA websites picked up on it and were like, buying or getting clicks off of it and shit. It was fucking hilarious to me. I didn't give a shit. That shit was funny.
I mean, at the end of the day, how douchey do you got to be? You do realize who this man is, correct? A, he's a comedian. B, he's a raunchy comedian.
Yeah.
Him saying her fucking ass is going to smell sweet is probably him putting it politely.
Yeah. And Benny
probably could have said something worse.
Yeah. Benny Mago Heist, I forget. I don't even know how you say his name. Benny Mago Heist goes, it's probably tasty too. And I'm like, I'm going to die. Yeah. This is funny.
So. Yeah, I mean, look, if that was somebody else, maybe another fighter, then maybe I get it. But it's a fucking comedian. Who the fuck? You think Joey Diaz gives a fuck one way or the other, anyways? Y'all don't you don't give a shit.
Well, did you see what he said? I think it was today or yesterday or something.
What?
He tweeted out that he has like a bunch of heroes in comedy, and the one thing he'll never do is apologize for a joke.
You should never apologize for a joke.
Yeah. It's exactly what he should never do because it's Joey Diaz. And if you can't take what Joey Diaz does, hey, don't follow him. Don't look at his Twitter. That's fine, man.
And I mean, on a quick side note, not to fucking sign off of this, but I gotta tell you, man, the left is getting out of hand, dog. Like, I mean, I'm starting to really see the Joe Rogan theme with the. I mean, like, if you were offended by a comedian saying that her ass is going to smell sweet, which clearly he's fucking joking about anyways. I mean, that's what makes it funny because her ass is sweating, you fucking morons.
Yeah.
If y'all really saw that and was like, oh my God, did you see what Joey Diaz tweeted? Like, you're a fucking idiot, man. Like real talk. Like if you was actually offended by that, you need to go out and live some life and be offended. Let somebody spit in your fucking face and knock the shit out of you one good time.
Yeah, so so obviously Joey Diaz got all the he got all the backlash and whatnot. Someone said breaking news: comedian Joey Diaz calls fans "quote unquote" ball sniffers and hopes that fans stay tip top Magoo. God damn it, that guy's funny. I don't give a fuck who you are. That shit was fucking funny. And then he said in Spanish, in Cuban Spanish, he said y'all gotta suck my dick. And in another tweet, and then he says, the tweet that Jesse was talking about says, I'm a husband, a father, but most importantly, a man. I will say things in the heat of comedic passion that not everyone will like. Out of respect to my heroes, Bruce, Pryor, Rogan, Hicks, Burr, Kinnison, Kearns, Bose, I'll never apologize for a joke. 100%.
Also, what is this? Cricket? Get the fuck out of our sport if you're offended by this. This is fucking cage fighting. We can't make a joke about a fucking sweet smelling ass.
Right.
What the fuck? This is we are the lowest common denominator of sports, guys. Let's not forget that. They just let us into the sports world. We're fucking this is a cage fighting thing. Like, don't get it twisted, man. We should not be offended by such a joke.
And I still don't think of MMA as a sport.
Well, whatever. If we're going to look at it in that light, we should be the sport where shit like this flies. No, yeah, I mean, come on. 100%. Let's not get fucking too much of our pretty skirt on.
Yeah.
They fight in the cage. That's what our sport consists of. What the fuck?
Yeah. Shout out to our boy Kyle from Loudmouth MMA and then Uncle Hank's on here on the YouTube comments as well. Uncle Hank says, Joey and Romero are due to guest on Rogan's together. Two crazy Cubans. I am not missing that. It helps that I'm bilingual though, so I'm going to be able to understand everything. But I want to hear like the confusion that other people get from not being able to understand what two Cubans just going off have to say.
How many MMA writers, quote unquote, are going to be ready with a pen and paper?
Oh, dude, every time Rogan goes live, you can bet guys like, I'll throw names, Mark Raimondi, guys like that are out there just ready. Who's Rogan gonna say now? Well, Rogan says this shit. Like, dude, come on, man. That's too easy. And look, and I'll give that motherfucker some credit. He's done some investigative work, especially with the California State Athletic Commission. He's done some legit investigative journalism. Fair enough. All the other shit was like, come on, dude. It's like they put the ball on the tee for you. Fuck out of here. Anyway, let's talk about UFC 222 main event. Chris Cyborg against Yana. I fucked up and got my ass whooped. First of all, start of the fight when she took Chris Cyborg down. Tell me you weren't like, oh shit, for like at least a split second. I was like, holy shit, for like a split second. And as soon as Cyborg got up, I'm like, oh, she is fucked. Like,
you know what?
Like, what?
For me, as soon as the fight started and she got hit in the face and her eyes were like,
oh, yeah.
Oh my God, I was like, oh yeah, this fight's over. Like whatever happens after this, it's just, you know, it's over. Like there's nothing she could do to redeem herself to come back from this. And that takedown, yeah, it was terrible. But I mean, it was like Cyborg was basically about to like pounce on her and beat her face in. And she like extended her life just a little bit longer after that takedown. But I mean, it was just clinical, right? Right after that.
Yeah. Shout out to Raider Jab here in the comments. The thing is too that as soon as when she got the takedown, I was like, holy shit. And as soon as Cyborg got up, I literally yelled at the TV. I was like, run, bitch, run for your life. Get some help. Like, run. Like, because it was over. Every time Cyborg hit her, first of all, she landed and she left a giant dent. So we all fucking knew how it was gonna end.
Yeah, man. I gotta tell you, man, I've always been kind of critical of Cyborg, and I was willing to give her due credit after the Holly fight. And I know she took this fight. If you're still listening, Kyle, you cocksmoker, I know she took this fight on short notice and she saved the card. Man, suck my dick. I don't give a fuck. I never want to see this again. I swear to God, Cyborg is the most overrated fighter of all time. Where's that goat emoji? What a fucking big ass goat emoji. That's what she is. She's the fucking goat of being overrated. Who in the fuck has Cyborg beat that matters?
That matters.
Holly Holm.
Holly Holm might be her biggest name, and Gina Carano.
That's definitely her biggest name for sure. She's had 3 wins. Marlies fucking Kunin.
Yeah.
Holly Holm and Gina Carano. That's it. That's her whole career. Everything else is littered with birds of shit or 35ers. And even the 35ers, Tanya Evinger, she ain't no fucking spring chicken. She's a tough old bird, but it ain't like she's fucking, you know, a young jiu-jitsu master. She's no female Brian fucking Ortega. This drives me crazy, man. You know, me and Kyle looked at somebody posted the female pound for pound rankings, and they had Cyborg at number 1. This may not be the popular opinion amongst MMA fans, but I think that's fucking stupid. For me, Cyborg is 3 at best pound for pound females. Amanda Nunes 1. I mean, what the fuck are we talking about?
Right.
And fucking Johanna. I know she just lost. I don't give a shit. Johanna has had way stiffer competition than anything Cyborg has had. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? As far as competition-wise goes. I tell you what. I am not paying to watch Cyborg fight somebody's name who I do not know ever again. I don't give a fuck if the girl weighs 174 pounds. I don't give a shit. I'm done with that, dog. I'm not watching her fight nobody like this ever again.
Okay. Speaking of that, what do you think of this possible Nunes fight? Fucking Nunes wants it. Cyborg wants it. It's the only fight to make, is what Dan says.
You know what? I say bullshit. You know why I say bullshit? Because Amanda Nunes has been calling for this fight.
Yeah.
Why the fuck was you fighting Kuta Kinte? Amanda Nunes called you out before this fight. And need I remind you, you said, nah, I don't want to keep fighting 35ers. I heard that fucking interview. I fuck with the nose. You said, and I fucking quote, I want to start fighting girls in my own weight division so I can establish myself there. And then what did you do? You fought a 35er. And from where? Fucking me, Invicta. Yeah. Oh, man, y'all kiss my ass, Jack. She either fights a UFC-er 35er at the very least or fucking bust from now on, man. It is enough with Cyborg. Fuck that.
Yeah, dude. Look, man. I'm down with the Nunes fight just to see it, but I heard the same shit you did, and as soon as they made this fight, I'm like, it's another 135. That's cool story. But who else is there left to fight besides Nunes?
No, don't get me wrong. I'll take Nunes. That's a good fight, and if Cyborg wins, I'll give her kudos. Look, man, I'm not saying the Cyborg is not the pound for pound best female fighter. I'm saying she don't deserve that title yet. She ain't earned it. She's got one win against Holly Holm. Short of that, she ain't got shite.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Google Cyborg for a second. It goes, Megan Anderson calls out Chris Cyborg after UFC 222.
I bet you my left nut that's the fight they make. And you know why? Because that's the fight that Cyborg thinks she can win, man. And I tell you what, if they do make that fight, that's that bullshit. And Cyborg is the fucking GOAT of overratedness. God damn it, I'm saying it. She better fight Amanda Nunes. She's stuck on that list for me.
Yeah, so Megan Anderson tweeted out March 3rd. Congrats, Chris, on your win tonight. UFC, can we do this now? Featherweight versus featherweight. Hashtag UFC 222. So apparently, look, you can say whatever you want about the Anderson's struggles to gain, I guess, the ability to stay in this country, whatever she had to do to stay, whatever. But I don't see her beating Cyborg either.
Remember, her last loss was against Cindy Dandois, also the same girl that went into the UFC and put on the most horrific striking performance we've ever seen by anybody.
Watch us get
that chick. So that's the chick that beat Megan Anderson not too long ago, and that's the person that we think is going to be a competition for Cyborg. Yeah, give me a break, guys.
To watch Cindy Dandois get in there, fuck around with Cyborg, and somehow beat her. She's like the Brian Caraway of the chicks division. Not in the fact that we hate her, but it's you always pick against him, and he always somehow pulls it off. Somehow.
Not this weekend.
Not this weekend. Jack. Right. Not this last weekend, but still. I didn't watch this. I didn't watch his fights. I can't stand the guy. But all right. So let's talk about the co-main event here. Brian Ortega against Frankie Edgar. Holy fucking loaded uppercut from hell. First of all, first guy to knock out Frankie Edgar. Fucking fair, dude. Now, let's talk about Frankie Edgar first. How many times you gotta fucking he's always this close to either winning the title or getting a title shot, and something always happens. Fucking crazy, Fred. I mean, what are you doing with Frankie?
I mean, shit, man. We ain't doing nothing with Frankie. I mean, he has, it's not like Frankie always came up short on the big one. He was the fucking champ at 55 for a month of Sundays. He fought for the belt at 45. Was it once or twice?
Twice.
There you go. So, he may have not won the big one at 45, but he won it at 55 a few times, defended the belt. Fuck, man, I don't know, but I don't think shit's wrong. Ortega's an animal. He's young. I think that the big takeaway from this for me has kind of been featherweight has been the first or one of the first divisions, I guess I should say, that has really seen the new wave of fighters take over. Max Holloway versus Brian Ortega is an example of what is supposed to happen with mixed martial arts. That's what we call evolution.
Right.
At heavyweight, you got a lot of stagnation. At light heavyweight, you got a lot of fucking, I think Shogun's still ranked in the top 10. You know what I'm saying? He's 132 years old.
Yeah.
But featherweight is showing you that youth. So, I see a lot of people maybe Frankie can't take a shot like he used to. Fair enough. Maybe he can't. But I don't think he looked good. He just is fighting a young animal. You know what I mean? So, what the fuck, right? People are he wouldn't have went down with that uppercut years ago. Maybe not. But maybe. That was a fucking hell of a shot. And it was a great elbow that put him on Queer Street beforehand. So, what are you going to fucking do? I'm not calling for Frankie to stop doing nothing. I think he still looked good. I don't really even feel bad for him, really. He's won the belt. He's been in huge fights. You win some, you lose some. He's got a great mentality. Said he's going to come right back, get on the horse. I mean, Frankie's the fucking man. He's a stud. There's not a lot to worry about. He ain't going to Bellator. He's going to get another top guy, and he'll probably win his next fight. So,
All right, well, Jesse, your thoughts on this whole thing where everyone's talking about how about Frankie moving to bantamweight?
Why? I mean, I think he found his niche right here at 145. I think he's great. He's a great test for everybody. I mean, we've seen him go up against guys that, you know, we think are ready for that next level title shot, like Cub Swanson, right? Was it Cub Swanson that he completely destroyed?
Mm.
What happened after that fight? Cub Swanson just became a better fighter all around, you know, and I think had Frankie Edgar beaten, T-City over the weekend, I think we would have seen an even better Brian Ortega had he lost. But being able to beat Frankie Edgar the way he did, I mean, that just solidifies him as quite possibly one of the best 145ers we have right now. And like Fred was saying, and I think, is it Luke Thomas, Fred, that always says that this is how the sport is supposed to work. You know, the young cannibalize the old, and that's how we get the new crop of contenders. And that's just how it goes, man. Sometimes you just got to get a guy out there that has that experience, that has that name, and he put him against a youngster, and he gets murdered. He gets taken out. That's just how it goes, man. But you know, I gotta disagree with you a little bit, Fred, in that at least 205 had a couple people that were coming up, but the problem is that there's almost nobody in line for that queue, that they just got pushed so fast. I think the good thing about like the lower weights, like, you know, featherweight, flyweight, all those other ones, well, not flyweight, but all the other, you know, in between divisions, is there's enough people around that they could kind of fight amongst themselves and get better before getting a shot at the title. You know, with the guy that just fought DC, he was on his way up. I think had he gotten like maybe 2 or 3 more fights, he could have rounded out his game a little bit better. But no time. But he got pushed right into that main event slot, and we saw just how little experience he had in the fight game, right? I mean, he just got eaten alive by DC, by a guy that has a lot of experience. That's just how the sport works, though. You know, sometimes you get a young guy that comes in and proves himself. Let me throw out a name, John Jones. Who would have thought John Jones was going to be the monster that he was? A lot of people did. And a lot of people he was. He probably is a cheater, but at the time, we didn't have the golden snitch around, you know, Nowitzki, you know, making sure that these guys weren't doping. But again, young guy got his shot against Shogun, did the damn thing, became a champ. You know, that's just how this sport works, guys.
Okay, true. But all right, now, quickly, let's talk about fucking Max versus Brian for just a moment. Yeah. Is this the biggest featherweight fight other than Conor and Jose? In my opinion, for sure.
You know what? I'm with you, especially when you made the point where it was like, these are the fights that we want. It's how the sport's supposed to evolve. I mean, shit. Now we got a guy pretty much the same size as Holloway, if I'm not mistaken. Right? Everyone Holloway's fought is smaller than him, other than Conor.
And there is so much to love about this fight.
Yeah.
Stylistically, it's great. Because I think both are competent on the ground and in the striking realm, but both obviously have a noted advantage. And one, obviously, I think Max Holloway is the more polished, better striker, but clearly Brian Ortega can fucking crack.
Yeah.
But, you know, Brian Ortega is obviously better on the ground, but also Max Holloway's clearly very competent. I mean, he ain't getting subbed out very easily, obviously. So, and you know what's better about that fight than this, though? I can't think of a fight that I have been more excited for with literally no trash talk going to happen. And I know it ain't going to happen. I know there'll be no trash talk, and I don't give an F. Like, this fight is still going to be hella exciting. They're going to be super respectful, and I couldn't give 2 shits that they're not going to talk trash to each other. Hey, I love Conor. I love Chael, but these 2 cats just go to show you that there's more than one way to skin a cat, man. You don't have to take that route to be a draw. Fedor still draws, and that motherfucker don't speak English. Like, there's other ways to do it, man, and these cats are doing it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, but I was going to say, but you're also talking about the fight style that is the most exciting. I mean, can you mention a boring fight that either of those two guys have been in? I mean,
True.
they don't have boring fights because they have a very exciting style of fight. You know, especially with Holloway. You know, with him pointing to the center of the cage to fighters and telling them this is where we're going to stand and this is where we're going to throw down. That is the type of exciting fighter that doesn't need to talk. Like Fred, like we were talking about, what was it, last week? When you know someone is the most gangster in the room is the guy that's the most quiet, doesn't have to say anything. You just know because everybody else tells you that guy is the baddest dude in the room. And that's what these two guys are, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And it's really cool to see a fight of this magnitude come together with no trash talk in this day and age where everybody thinks that's what you need to do to sell a fight. And it's like, not really. You just need to be really good and be really authentic. Because Max or Brian don't talk shit, but their personalities are dope though, right?
Yep.
Max is Hawaiian. He's super chill, super laid back, very into martial arts, though, takes the game seriously. Brian Ortega is a very interesting character. You know who Brian Ortega is? I don't know if you guys have ever seen this fucking movie before. Brian Ortega is the fucking white boy from Blood In, Blood Out.
Yeah,
he's that fucking guy. He looks like him and shit. He's got the fucking blue eyes, the heart of a Mexican and shit. Like, if that prick can fight, he'd be Brian Ortega. I mean, his story could not be better.
Holy shit, that's fucking,
you know, this is amazing.
You know what we laugh the most about that is you just were wondering if two Mexicans had seen Blood In, Blood Out. That's
no. I was posing that fucking question to I know you two fucking Chicanos have seen that movie.
I was gonna say only 1,000 times. No, fucking
same.
Yeah. All right, can I catch it up on YouTube comments here? Raider says, "Fight Nunes." I'm talking about Cyborg. Fight Nunes. That's all she has left right now. And then Joanna, no doubt, as she mowed through the division, and that she says she hopes the Cyborg beats the shit out of Megan. Shout out Jeremiah, the Hardcore MMA Show, on the YouTube comments. Frederick's here saying Megan isn't small though, and Caraway almost did pull it off last weekend. I didn't watch the fight, so I don't know. But
true, we'll talk about that quickly before make sure we talk about before I go. But I tell you what, old Brian Caraway damn near made me a fan in that fight.
Well, talk about it now. What happened?
Well, I mean, he just put up a good fight, man. He was relentless, and he was fucking kind of talking shit to him a little bit. Like, I don't know, there was something about him. Like, okay, I see you, Brian Caraway. I've always just hated you because you was nailing Misha, but all things being equal, now she dumped you, and I'm kind of digging this little fighting spirit you got going on. You're a tough little ugly fucker.
Oh shit, I do fucked up. And then Frederick says Frankie was winning that fight, and I don't think that his chin is weak. Those were big shots. So
for sure, that's a very valid point. He that elbow and the uppercut would have probably fucking knocked out Nate Diaz. You know what I mean? Like that. It was the first round. He was super fresh. Like, ain't no fucking shame in that. And look, I never want to take credit for calling anything in a fight because as far as it goes for fight predictions, I fucking suck. But I did fucking say that Frankie does have a propensity to get hit, and that could happen. That's what happened. Like, Frankie does not have the best striking defense. He's durable as fuck, but he's very hittable, and Brian Ortega fucking hit him. So
was I the only one? I don't know about you guys, but when that uppercut, when he wound up for that uppercut to hit him, it just seemed like the culmination of a lot of like frustration and like, you know, all the years of grinding. He just put like all that energy into that uppercut because, I mean, we've seen Frankie take some heavy shots before, but that uppercut just seems so much more like violent and different. And I mean, you even see the way Frankie Edgar, I mean, if you want to be a douchebag, you know, they have the memes out there of Frankie on the ground with his face all jacked up, you know, posting that picture of poor Frankie Edgar. But I mean, that was a shot that just seemed different. What I got to agree with Fred, though. The way that Brian was striking was so much cleaner and so much refined from the last time we've seen him.
Oh, sure.
I'm so much more impressed at how much he's advancing that I think that it's going to be a much more closer fight with Holloway than a lot of people think.
Yeah, and just as Raider says, I hope to stack that card. They need to stack that card. So, okay. And then what up?
Well, I was just going to say, before we get off of that fight, I just want to get a quick prediction. We are allowed to change our mind. Obviously, we got a lot of time before the fight, but just quickly, before we get off of this, who do we think wins? I'm going to go out on a limb right now. I'm going to tell y'all, I think Brian Ortega is the real thing. I think he wins. I think he'll end up submitting Max Holloway. I think he does to Max what I thought he would do to Frankie. I don't think he'll knock him out, but I think he'll rock him and then he'll submit him as soon as he gets his hands on him.
Man, I tell you what, I'm going to be rooting my ass off for Brian Ortega. And if he wins and I'm wrong, great. It's going to be fucking amazing. But Holloway.
All righty. Well, I think he was going to pick Holloway. I think that's where that was going. He gave us the butt. So
yeah. See, that's why he got cut. See, if you're a Mexican, you got to pick Brian Ortega. You can't pick against the Mexican guys. So
that's right.
Yeah, you know what? I agree with you, Fred. I think just the improvements that Ortega has done, it seems to me like he's the much more well-rounded fighter. And it looks like the way that he was able to scare Frankie off from takedowns with one guillotine attempt, I think it's going to be the game changer in that fight against Holloway. Go ahead, Eddie, since you're not picking
the Mexican guy. It happens once a fucking show, motherfuckers. I swear to God, every time. Look, like I said, I'm going to root for Ortega, but I like Holloway's ability to change his game plan on the go. So I like Holloway when it's in a close decision. I don't think he's going to finish Ortega. But man, if Ortega somehow like gets him, does some kind of like gets him like a triangle, or dude, you know what's funny? They talk about his triangle, call him T-City. Fair enough. His guillotine is deadlier than anybody's. That dude's guillotine. You saw what he did to Cup Swanson. What the fuck? You know what I mean?
Well, I think his jiu-jitsu.
He's a fucking.
I'm telling you, he's like a Mexican Gracie that grew up in fucking around gangsters. I mean, Brian Ortega is not to be trifled with. He's got that Mexican heart. He can take a shot. He's willing to bang, but he's like a fucking BJJ expert, like a Gracie, like a new school Gracie too, not like a sissy hoist Gracie. You know what I mean? Like a fucking, like an aggressive fucking Gracie, like fucking Henzo on steroids and shit, man. Brian Ortega is a fucking animal,
dude. And here's the thing too: is he's not a guy that came up through like the tournaments. He's not a huge name in jiu-jitsu. He's not like an IBJJF champion or an ADCC champion. He's just a guy that busted his ass on the mats over and over and over and over again, and he's just a killer.
Well, I think that's even better too. I think he's good. He's got like that real life jiu-jitsu. He's got like that MMA jiu-jitsu. His game is built for what really works in a real fight. When that motherfucker snags a guillotine on you, it's time to start counting your goddamn blessings.
Yeah, 100%. Good morning to Musashi over here. Says, good morning from Germany, 4 a.m. Ortega is scary. It might sound a bit crazy, but he reminds me of Romero. He is a very calm opportunist with a high finishing ability and possible high fight IQ. Yeah.
You know what? I get that. I get that in that Ortega does seem to explode in bursts and dangerous bursts. Like people were saying that Frankie was winning the fight, and I'll give you that. But I think Frankie was winning the fight because Ortega was just waiting to explode. And when he did, he started fucking Frankie up.
Yeah. Yep. It's been a long time since I saw Frankie rock like that. It really was. When
was the last time you saw Frankie not dive for a double? And then really like once that guillotine was attempted from Brian Ortega, Frankie like separated so quickly, like he wanted no part of that. So, I mean, you got to realize that that's such a dangerous tool when people like Frankie Edgar respect your guillotine to that level. I mean, that's something to be scared about.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then just real quick, Raider says Holloway, his fight IQ will win this. Frederick's taking Ortega hands down. Frederick says, okay, no one has mentioned how big Ortega looked in there. To me, he seemed more like a welterweight. He's a big featherweight. He's missed weight before. You know what I mean? So he's a big dude for featherweight. If he can keep making that weight, though, shit. I know he's a young guy, but fuck.
Holloway's not small, though, either.
Right.
Holloway's a decent-sized featherweight. So that's why this is such a good fight. They'll be evenly matched damn near everywhere, man. Yeah, this is such a good fucking fight, man.
That's why I'm excited for this fight, dude, because they're both same size, like similar size. Like no one has like a big disadvantage anywhere. And then you can see both of these guys at lightweight not too long from now. So, I mean, Holloway's already talked about moving up at some point soon. So we'll see. Is he bigger than Holloway? I don't think he's bigger than Holloway. But I'm actually gonna look that up here in a minute and let you guys know.
If you want, Eddie, we can transition from talking about just a guy that grew up basically learning street jiu-jitsu, like Fred was saying, applying it in real life circumstances. And now let's transition over to Mackenzie Dern and her jiu-jitsu and her transition into MMA. And to me, that was a good performance in the sense that we got to see a lot out of her. but it was not a good fight, man, for her. I think she really took her stock went down, in my opinion, for a lot of people, because a lot of people, I think, had high hopes that she was going to come in and just trounce this girl, take her down, jiu-jitsu her to death, and win. And it was a lot harder fight for her. What do you guys think?
Mackenzie Dern has no hands, which is weird because she trains at a good striking gym here in Arizona, the MMA lab. But I've heard some, little things here and there that she doesn't take striking too serious. So,
clearly her hands are not very good, but yeah. I do not think that is her issue. I think her issue is her wrestling is shite.
Oh, 100%.
Her wrestling sucks. If she could get the fight to the ground, she would be horribly dangerous. I mean, in the brief moments that she was able to acquire the fight to the ground or even to an advantageous position standing, her grappling is definitely on another level. But her takedowns suck. If she could have took her down, she probably would have subbed her out in the first 2 minutes. If you could give her Brock Lesnar's takedowns, she would be a lot to deal with. But her takedowns fucking suck. I mean, what was who was the broad she was fighting?
Ashley Yoder.
Yeah, she's not especially she's more of a striker broad, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, what the fuck? If you can't take her down, there's going to be some chicks in the division that there ain't no shot in hell you're taking down. They're going to beat the dog shit out of you on your feet. So
yeah. And I get what you're saying with the wrestling 100%, but I just her hands, because she's trying to do things with her hands. Her takedowns are dog shit. It's almost like she was trying to strike them down to the ground and then jump on their back or whatever, right? And I think she was on her back for a little bit, And
she can give up the ghost with that striking them down shit. She needs to go holler at Chael Sonnen or Chris Weidman. She needs to figure out how to drag people, or better yet, Damian Maia. Maia is a really good example of what she needs to do to make her jiu-jitsu effective.
100%.
Talk about her translator jumping into the cage.
Okay.
Dog. I was gonna say, don't think
real quick, because I know Fred's gonna go off on that. Max Holloway 5'11", Brian Ortega 5'8". So Max got a few inches on him. But size wise, thickness, physical thickness wise, this guy showed up in a freaking mask. What up, dog? Hey.
What up, brother?
What's up, guys?
Joel Paredes, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, man?
How you guys doing?
Good, chilling. We're actually talking about Mackenzie Dern and her translator. We're gonna let Fred go off on this real quick, and then you can go. So, Fred, the translator. I know you had your rant. If you want to plug it, go for it. But I fucking died laughing about it because I didn't believe it. I didn't watch the fight live. I actually had to look it up on YouTube, and then I died laughing when they brought the translator in.
Okay, yeah, listen, so we've all seen the video of Mackenzie Dern's accent changing. She grew up in fucking America. I don't give a fuck how long she's been in Brazil. She grew up in America. Her accent has fucking changed. Now, listen, I'll give it to you. If I fucking go down to Florida for a few weeks, I come back sounding like a hillbilly, okay? Fair enough. If you live somewhere, that shit you do tend to take on that fucking inflection a little bit. What you don't fucking do is forget your first fucking language. She ain't been in Brazil for 45 fucking years. All of a sudden, she needs a translator for English? What the fuck? Is she retarded? Or what's going on? It's got a little out of hand. I've seen her doing some interviews talking about some how you say. What the fuck do you mean how you say? You know how to say it. You know how to speak fucking English.
Okay, do you think it's a marketing thing?
Or she's really a little mentally ill and she thinks that she only speaks Portuguese now. Does she even speak Portuguese or just fucked up English?
No, she speaks Portuguese too. No, but here's the thing though. Yeah. But here's the thing. With the way I see this is you need to have you want to have a big following. You got to get the Brazilians on your back. Your dad's Megaton. He's a huge name in jiu-jitsu. She's another huge name in jiu-jitsu now. So you want that whole Brazilian crowd doing that hey, I'm head bullshit and you're fighting everything. You gotta tell them hey, I'm one of you. I need a translator. Come here. Let's sell this shit. You know what I mean? It's on some straight up WWE shit.
It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
Shit has to be genuine for you to sell it.
Right. You gotta sell right. But sell it. You must right in order to get them. Fuck. It's like having a fuck. I don't know how to explain it. It's like when everyone's talking about Ronda Rousey can't speak on the microphone for wrestling for shit. I went down the rabbit hole of the Rousey thing. All right. I've been reading articles like an idiot and I ready to shoot my own head off with this shit. But everyone's like, oh, she can't talk. She needs a manager. You know what I mean? Because the manager's gonna have to sell her. Mackenzie Dern's trying to sell the fact that she speaks Portuguese and she's Brazilian. You know what I mean? Is it funny? Fuck yes, but still. But what are your thoughts on that, there, Joel?
If that's her gimmick, then fuck, more power to her. But I think it's funny when when she speaks it, especially when she gets blown up about it, like when Ariel Helwani asked her about it in an interview. You can tell she like fucking blew up, like her face got all red, and she was like, "Oh, I'm flattered," and then like slowly her English got fucking better out of nowhere, and even at the press conference, her English got a little better. I'm like,
yeah, it's like when I saw because I watched the post-fight presser, and I'm like, Mackenzie, you were born in Phoenix, Arizona, like 5 miles from where I'm sitting right now. Chill the fuck out with that shit. I know you speak English. It's not like this isn't Kane trying to speak Spanish in Mexico. All right. It's not a fucking secret. Anyone that even has half Spanish, all right, knows that Kane is awful with it. All right. But he tries. All right. But
it's his second language. God
exactly.
Your first language is your first fucking language. What the fuck? Her first language is English, right? Like you said, she grew up in fucking Arizona. And like you said, man, I was listening to her interview Monday, the day after or 2 days after the fight on the MMA Hour, and you could kind of hear it where her little broken English would disappear and that Valley girl would come out. I think that bitch is bipolar or what's it called when you got fucking multiple personalities? She's got like a little Valley girl just waiting to creep out. She's suppressing it.
Dude, it's like she has the accent. She speaks Portuguese. I bet you if she goes to Brazil and she's a favela, she goes, ew, people live in those? Like that kind of thing. You know what I mean? That accent's gone immediately. Like she's full Valley girl with that shit. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's pretty ridiculous here.
If I wanted some cringy ass shit, I type in Mackenzie Dern's back.
There you go, yeah, dude. And the thing is too, like again with the Joey Diaz thing. I don't know what you heard what Joey Diaz said, right, Joel?
Who?
Joey Diaz is a comedian. First of all, important that you know he's a comedian. And he tweeted out that, yeah, and people freaked the fuck out. I thought it was funny as shit.
What did he tweet? I didn't see what
he tweeted out. I bet Mackenzie Dern's ass smells tremendous after the fight.
Oh man!
But it's funny.
Aside from her, aside from her just amazing fucking look, fucking cringy. But speaking of her looks themselves, that's like a whole different ballgame. Yeah, I'm with Joey on that one.
Hey man, I tell you what, when she's not cutting weight, she got them curves. I'm all in on that.
I'll let her ass unmask me.
Yeah, it'll be the sit on my face show on that point. Yeah, no, but it's just pretty funny. Oh, here's a good question. Here's a good thing. Frederick says, how about the fact that Brendan Schaub called her the hottest girl in MMA?
Well, how about we can take that opinion and shove it right up Brendan's fucking Schaub's ass? Not as long as that fucking broad that wears the goddamn, what's her name? Fucking Rachel Ostovich or whatever.
Oh, she's a freaking goddess.
Yeah. Sorry, Mackenzie. I don't think so. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. This might be the unpopular opinion, and don't get me wrong. I'd fuck her, but I don't think Mackenzie Dern's all that hot. Like, I thought her ass was a little long. I like mine a little.
It's a weight cut.
Weight cut these nuts. Her ass look like a vertical rectangle.
Dog. All right, look, man, just go check out her Instagram in like a couple weeks when she's been eating tacos and fucking acai up to like crazy. That plump ass, you'd be like, never mind. I take that back.
That's called Photoshop.
I Photoshop all day. I Photoshop my eyeballs so I can see that shit in fucking person. I don't give a shit. All right.
Lie to me. I don't care, Jack.
Yeah, lie to me. I don't give a fuck. The funny thing is Jeremiah agrees with you. Jeremiah says, I don't know. I just don't find her all that hot. I mean, she's all right, but not the hottest by far. And Frederick says, ass for days. Fucking right, dude. Fucking right.
She ain't got more ass than Rachel Ostovich.
No, she doesn't. No. Rachel's on another level. You can't fuck with her. Rachel,
right.
Who? Hey, Rachel Ostovich, just look her up. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, you're right. You're gonna say it. Watch, I'm calling it right now. Anyway, let's talk about that. One of the other stars of the whole night, Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley, that's his name.
Yeah, Sugar Sean.
Sugar Sean O'Malley.
I thought it was Shane.
Shane?
Not Sean. It's Sean. Yeah, it's Sean.
Right.
It's Sean.
Time out. Hold up. Now I feel like an asshole because
Listen, I'm a white boy. Goddammit, I know these things. It's Sean.
Sean, hold up. I got you. It is Sean. Okay, good.
I told you, man. Us gringos know that shit.
Y'all know, y'all got your people. So Sean O'Malley gets the unanimous decision win over Andre Soccer Mom, which is now what I'm going to call him, even though disrespectful. I laugh out of that shit. Busted his foot like early in the fight and then completely fucked it up by the third round, right? And then for some reason, Andre takes him down. And everyone said, what the fuck at the same time. Yep. That, first of all, we got a star here, Fred? We got a new star?
Yeah, we do. I mean, listen, you know, the funny thing about MMA, man, people talk all this shit about Conor and everybody doing all this shit without a push. CM Punk is probably one of the biggest like stars other than Brock and a few other cats that came into the fucking UFC, and he got starched out and nobody really cares to see him fight again. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, you do have to win. You have got to keep winning fights. So if this little, is he Irish?
Yeah, I don't know. Actually,
I'm assuming he is. Fucking O'Malley, whatever the fuck he is. I assume he's Irish. If this little Irish prick keeps winning fights and keeps smoking weed and keeps fucking, you know, getting tattoos of stars on his face or whatever the fuck he's doing, yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know if he's going to be Conor, but what's this, his second fight in the UFC, and he's already got kind of all this hype. He's doing the right things. Yeah, I'm interested. And he did fight very excitingly up until, you know, whatever the fuck he did to his foot. So I think so.
Hold up. He said from Montana, though. Hey, did you find her?
Yeah, I found her.
Right? Right? Just say yes. He knows I'm right. She just took ranking number 1. All right, Dern's number 2 on this point. On the ass scale, bro. Anyway, all right, so and then Frederick says that Sean's from Montana. I did not know that shit. I know he trains here in Arizona. He trains over at the lab.
Yeah, he's still of fucking Irish descent.
Yeah, probably. Anyway, anything else out of UFC 222 you guys want to talk about before we move on to Conor and Burger King? Because I got a good laugh out of that. What up? I didn't hear you. Sorry.
Frankie Edgar, I was sad that he lost.
Oh, Frankie Edgar. Yeah. So the Frankie Edgar fight, I mean, look, that was just a nasty uppercut, man. And we were talking about it earlier. People were saying, like, oh, he's got no chin now. And, you know, that might have just been a fucking hammer that he got hit with.
It was fucking clean.
Yeah. And he fucking loaded it, too. You know what I mean? Like, he was hitting him. And that last one, he was just like, bitch. Just like, at the end, it was like, and he was rock. So, look, mad respect to Frankie Edgar, man.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, you know it's going to happen, even if the change of the guard, but you don't want it to happen.
Yeah, no, that's how the game goes, man. You gotta evolve, and you know, sometimes some guys just get passed over or passed by. Time stops for no one. All right. And then real quick, very quickly on CB Dalloway, Hector Lombard. Fred, if you're the ref, do you disqualify Hector Lombard?
Oh man,
that was a tough one to me. That was a tough one to me.
You know what? Yeah, I do. Based on his overall character, because he's always been a bit of a cheating, sneaky prick, and he pointed at him after he did it. So, you know, if it was somebody else, maybe not, but, you know, Hector Lombard don't get that white privilege, Jack. We're going to fucking punish him. He's getting DQ'd.
What about you, Joel? You let that go, or you DQ him too?
That's really tough call. But yeah, just like Fred said, I probably would the track record. Like if it looked a little unintentional, and you know he's been a clean, decent fighter throughout his career, then I wouldn't. But
yeah, no. You know what, dude? If I don't like CB Dalloway, so I let that shit go. Like I'm just saying, just because I don't like CB Dalloway for shit at all. Like not even a little bit. It just, you know. But what do I know? You know what I mean? Anyway, but all right, moving on here. What up?
Why don't you like him?
I got to meet him here, and when he was training over at Power, and he's a cool guy. He's got that dude surfer thing. with a whole lot of douche at the end of it. But anyway, like it's just, you know, it might have just been that one time that I met him. You know, it's whatever. But regardless, anything else on 222? Nothing. All right. No one here has the opinion that Cyborg should fight dudes because apparently Brendan Shaw was talking about that on Rogan. She needs to fight dudes or 2 chicks at once.
I mean, that's cute, but you know, yeah, you know, North Korea needs to give up their nukes too, Jack. You know what I'm saying? Like, a whole bunch of shit would be cute, but like, fuck, that ain't gonna happen. So shut the fuck up, Brendan.
I wouldn't mind seeing her fight. What's that dude name? Fallon Fox.
Oh, it's a Fallon Fox is the transgender, right? That's the word.
Yeah,
that's key.
That's the only person I wouldn't mind seeing Cyborg fight. Other than that,
yeah, and even then, I think Cyborg beats Fallon Fox's ass pretty badly.
That's why I'd like to see it.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, you have something there?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I agree with you guys. There's really, I mean, progressive Brendan Schaub over there talking about respect Cyborg and then offering to put her in a fight with a dude. Yeah, good job, Brendan.
There you go. Yeah.
How about you, Brendan? You want in on there with Cyborg, motherfucker? Anyway, all right, burgers or chicken sandwiches and whatever the fuck. Just real quick on this Conor thing. First of all, hey, get paid, dog. You gonna sell out? Sell out. Get paid. I'm not hating on him whatsoever. I just thought it was genius how Max Holloway was like, oh, he King of Ireland, the king of chicken. And he wants his 2-strip meal. I was like, oh, that was good. You got to give it to him. That was pretty good.
Listen. I do got to say, after all the Irish chicken bullshit from fucking Khabib, I was a little surprised that Conor decided to do this commercial. If I'm Conor and I'm in the meeting, I'm like, look, guys, I got this little Russian prick calling me a chicken and shit. I can't be endorsing a chicken sandwich right now. Do you guys got like a Texas Whopper or some shit coming out? Something kind of manly I can endorse. Right now, I got this little Russian prick going around saying I'm a chicken. It just doesn't look good for me. I don't. But yeah, listen, at the end of the day, who gives a fuck, right? Like, he's getting money. It's weird, kind of. Like, the whole commercial was a little weird. I mean, he can't even really fucking speak very good Anglo. I don't really get the correlation, really. Like, does Conor McGregor make me want to go eat a spicy chicken sandwich? Not fucking really. And I like Conor McGregor and spicy chicken, but
yeah, I was sitting there going like, man, you know good and goddamn well fucking Conor McGregor ain't eating no spicy chicken from Burger King. All right, like, come on, dog. I'm not eating that shit. Like, why would Conor do that? You know, this is weird. But hey, look, fair play as far as like the crossover that some people talk about. He's crossed over pretty fucking good. Like, I haven't seen that commercial here. I don't have cable here, so whatever. But have you guys seen that commercial on TV?
Okay, hold on. Y'all can see me when I'm talking, right?
Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Dave Madden. If y'all haven't seen this, check this out. Can y'all see this meme?
Yeah.
So I'll try to keep like it's the Diaz brothers at McDonald's and shit.
Two kings sit under golden arches.
Yeah. So there is something to be said for this. McDonald's is to Nike as Burger King is to Reebok. So, you know, Conor still ain't getting that Nike money yet. He ain't getting that McDonald's money yet. We all know Burger King is trash. Burger King is trash as fuck. I can't stand Burger King. Burger King sucks.
Jeremiah with the attempt here saying Conor's chicken strip sandwich.
Yeah. Let's see how that fucking sells. He better start fucking endorsing some Irish whiskey.
Do something. Hey, look, again, get paid. I am not hating at all. All right, and then I wanted to bring up GSP real quick because I know we're all, you know, GSP. I don't know if you guys heard it. I don't normally listen to the Nosy show, and but I did get sent this on YouTube, so I watched the interview with GSP, and he basically says he wants to have a legacy fight with anybody that wouldn't give him a legacy fight. Does that make sense? Like, he doesn't want to fight either the Diaz brothers. He doesn't want to fight Tyron Woodley. He doesn't want to fight anybody. Like, what are your thoughts on that, Fred? Because I know you saw it.
The only thing I could think was he was subtly hitting that fight in Anderson Silva.
That's exactly what I thought.
I mean, that's the only name he didn't name that was on that. I mean, who else are we going to dig up for him to have a fucking legacy fight with? And you know what, man? For all of me, fuck it. Fuck it. You nailed it, Jack. Let him fight. Anderson's cheating like a motherfucker these days. I still think GSP's been cheating his whole career. We just ain't caught the cute little fucking Canadian prick. So fuck it, man. Let him fight. At this point, what harm would it do?
You know how much shit, like whenever we somehow get Canadians watching this shit, like you know how upset they get when you say that? Like they get so mad. It's the funniest fucking thing ever, though. Canadians are the nicest people ever until you shit on GSP. Yeah. Then it's fucking over.
I get it. He's their guy, man. He's their guy.
All right, Joe, you interested in that fight? Anderson Silva, GSP, at this point?
Hell yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, dude. 100%. That's the fight that I've been wanting to see for a long, long time. Yeah, no, I'd love to see GSP Anderson Silva. I think we all know what's going to happen, though. GSP all day. But yeah, that's a fight I've been wanting to see since they were both in their prime, because they were both champions.
No, 100%. But the thing with me there, and Jesse, you could pick up on this if you want. I think it's too late. Like I think it would have been great back in the day. Now it's just like a novelty. It's like, okay, well, cool. Two legends, cool. Let them fight. But we wanted to see this shit back when they were like both in their prime, right, Jesse?
Yeah, I guess that's true. But you know what? Bellator is trying to put together, what is it, Crow Cop and what is it, Rampage or somebody like that?
Oh man,
Crow Cop Nelson, right? Nelson.
Yeah, there you go. So I mean, why doesn't the UFC cash in on a little bit of these old names and kind of make it, some spectacle? I mean, we're trying to make that money, right? As Fred already, we already know, they've got what, $4 billion that they got to pay back. So it's gonna generate some pay-per-views. Why not? Let's do it.
Yeah. $4 billion.
Listen, better late than never, right? I mean, you're right. Yeah. We should have saw this fight a while ago, but shit, Floyd Pacquiao still. Don't get me wrong, sissies. I'm not saying it's anything the same. I'm saying that fight happened way late in the game too, and it still did big numbers. This fight will not do nothing like that, but make no mistake about it, it'll still do some numbers. You know what I'm saying? And GSP is still a hell of a draw, to be honest with you. He ain't really lost a step. Cute cocksucker came back and beat the fuck out of Michael Bisping's one-eyed ass, so he's still going to presumably draw really good when he comes back.
Yeah. Jeremiah says Rampage versus Vanderlei. And then he says, what about Mike Perry and his girlfriend / coach splitting up?
Oh, yeah. That was hilarious.
First of all, go ahead. Sorry.
TMZ. No, TMZ Sports over here, huh?
Here's the thing with that. And I was thinking about it. And like, when I first heard that, I'm like, who gives a fucking fuck? Right? But it's kind of the sideshow MMA. I mean,
well, listen, the only reason it really, really does matter is because fucking Colby Cheese Covington made that fucking comment right afterwards about calling her a horse face and shit. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So that started this whole thing, and then she fucking dumps dude. So, I'm surprised Colby hasn't came back out with a fucking zing since then.
Oh, he's trying to get a hold of her. They're gonna be like hanging out. Someone's gonna take video of them like making out and shit. They're gonna make it huge. Watch, I'm telling you. That's next. That's how you TMZ the shit.
I love it. That's hilarious. I hope it happens.
There you go. And then Jesse can sign up. Jesse actually already applied for TMZ Sports, right?
I sure did. You'll see Jesse on the next edition of TMZ Sports. Like fucking Colby Covington and Mike Perry's ex-girlfriend. Anyway, all right. Let's see. What else do we have here? All right. Well, whatever. Like the GSP thing fucking bothers me because I wish he would fight somebody. They were talking about Conor. He won't fight Conor. He want to fight Woodley, Nick or Nate. Nobody. He wants. So I'm with you. He probably hinting at the Anderson Silva fight. So Joe, you're a fighter. So what have you been up to these days, man? Because I haven't talked to you in a while. I know Jesse, you and Jesse shoot the shit all the time. But what have you been up to these days, man?
Just these days, just working a lot, man, and staying in shape. As you guys know, or as I don't know if you guys know, but I met Jesse through Combate Americas back in 2016, and since then I've been kind of trying to get a fight. I was supposed to fight for them for the longest time, but it never happened, and that whole thing fell through. I don't know what happened with them, but it fell through, and I kind of went more towards the pro wrestling way, where I started training pro wrestling. I didn't really want to, get too involved in MMA anymore, just because I kind of, couldn't really get any. I don't want to say big fights, but I'm done fighting locally. Like I don't want to fight any of these fucking regional shows. I just don't. I'm not saying I'm too good. I just don't want to fucking do it. I don't want to have to make my money but fucking selling tickets. So yeah, after combat, I just kind of went towards the more pro wrestling way, and then just talking to people along the way. I met Phil Baroni. Started training with him out here in Northern California. Up here, I live in Woodland, which is next to Sacramento, and he was living with one of my buddies. He's training down there in Stockton, Lodi area, and so right now we're working on some future potential fights, and there might be one May 4th coming up in Oregon. So if we can get that on paper, then that's my next move is May 4th.
There you go. So what weight do you fight at?
I except for my last heavyweight.
All right, yeah. All right, yeah. I mean, look, I'm with you, man. If you're gonna get punched in the face, make it worth it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I thought, yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not the same getting punched by a fucking super heavyweight than a lightweight or some shit.
Right.
It's not the same. But yeah, no, these local shows are okay, and I could easily get a fight around here, Gladiator Challenge or whatever the fuck else is around. But I'm not into here, fucking buy this ticket, help me, fight. I'm just done with all that, and I'd rather just make a decent amount of money to, that's the whole reason why I even got in it. It's just to fucking make some money,
Right.
I'm not in it to fucking have this great fucking record or have a legacy or anything like that. I just want to make a lot of money and beat the shit out of people. That's really it.
Well, talk about because I was telling Eddie about this, and Eddie looked it up that Phil Baroni has a wrestling match coming up this weekend, and talk a little bit about, because I know on a lot of people's mind right now is the whole Ronda Rousey transitioning over to wrestling, and Brock Lesnar over in wrestling transitioning over. Like, how do you see that pathway? Do you see that as a viable pathway for what's that surfer stoner kid's name that is now really big in wrestling? He was a fighter before.
Yeah, it's Matt Riddle.
There you go.
Yeah, Matt Riddle.
And he's great from what I see. So do you see that as like a potential for fighters, that just can't get the breaks that they need, can't get like the openings? Is that good? Do you see that as a good avenue to make it in the business?
Of course, if you have it, like if you first, I think you have to be, like, this is my personal opinion. I think you have to be a fan of, like, if you go from MMA into wrestling. I think you have to be a fan of wrestling first. Like, you have to have grown up watching it or be passionate about it or understand it. But yeah, I think it's great for MMA fighters to go on to pro wrestling. I mean, they already have the athletic ability, and they already have somewhat of the marketable persona. So yeah, why not? And especially someone like Ronda Rousey, who has a fucking big following, and she already has that that character in her that she can take on to pro wrestling. And same thing with Phil Baroni. That guy's he's killing it right now in wrestling and pro wrestling, and it's not even so much of a gimmick. That's really just who he is. Like like who he's in the ring. That's kind of who he is in real life. So if you can be yourself and or if you can make up a character and you can run with it, then yeah, hell yeah. I'm all for MMA going into pro wrestling. Just don't try to make it all about MMA in pro wrestling. Like, don't try to change the game. Don't try to bring MMA into wrestling. Let wrestling be wrestling, but do everything else you want.
What are your thoughts on Ronda Rousey so far? Because most people have been hating on her like hard.
Yeah. No, I like her. I mean, I like her. She's kind of cringy on the mic, like everyone else thinks so. I think so too. But man, you can't hate on success like that. I think she's fucking great. I love Ronda Rousey, and I'm sure everyone in the locker room, especially the girls, fucking hate her being on there. Having all this crazy push. But I think it's great. I think she's gonna kill it. As long as she keeps working on her mic skills, she's being trained by the right people, which I'm sure she is. She's gonna be great. Like I said, she already has the athletic ability. Like, I went from training MMA for, I started training in 2008. up until recently, when I got into wrestling, it's a whole different fucking ballgame. Like training pro wrestling, it's so much different. It's a more of a it's more of a dance. You're really it's theater. It's just different. I mean, it's still painful, but it's different. You got to be a little more careful, and so I give her props for doing that.
All right, and Jesse, jumping on this one for sure, because the whole DC, first of all, DC Daniel Cormier, light heavyweight champion, loves wrestling, right? Loves pro wrestling.
Yo, boys, I gotta go. I gotta go.
All right,
I have to rub, boys. All right, later, guys.
Later, dude. Take care.
Later, boys. Have a good show.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's Respect Kirby, ladies and gentlemen. Follow him on Twitter at Kirby_MMA. Y'all know that shit. I don't have to tell you that. You guys already know that, motherfucker. But the thing with DC, playing around like he wants to jump in the ring and shit too. Have you seen that, Jesse?
Yeah, I have. You know what? As a fan, like, and Joel will tell you, once you get involved in wrestling and it's a passion for you, because I was telling you before the show started, I wanted to get into it. When you get to see the nitty gritty, sometimes it can turn you off of it, which it did to me. But a lot of people just love it, man. And DC is the type of guy that he understands character. He understands, that his body is not going to hold up in actual fight, forever. And he knows that if he can make himself an avenue in something that can create a business for him and an avenue to still be athletic and take care of his family and pay his bills, but not have to do the rigors of MMA training, I'm sure we'll see DC transition right over to WWE wrestling or something, eventually, because he's such a super fan. It just seems like a perfect fit for him. And like Joel was saying, if you have a passion for it already, it'll fit you. But if you're just trying to make it like, well, I'm a big name, I'm going to go in there, it's not going to work. But you know what? Whatever, man. DC is a lovable guy, and I think he could do a good job of it. Eventually, because he's such a super fan. It just seems like a perfect fit.
Jesse, you there? That's all good. Jesse, you there?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, make sure we lose anybody. Yeah, no, I don't know much about wrestling. I started watching when The Rock retired, but look, I'm assuming the life of certain people. Like, you gotta love it. I mean, Joe, you gotta be all in or all out, right?
That's right. Hold on a sec. Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. No. That's one thing. Like Jesse was just saying about DC. I know he's a fan of it, so I think he would do great. I think he would do great in wrestling. Any of those guys, as long as they have a passion for it and they understand and all that. You definitely have to be running on all cylinders. Psychologically, and then obviously you want to be trained not to hurt the guy, because on the contrary, in wrestling you don't want to hurt the guy you're working with. That's your number one goal, is to keep him in there as safe as possible. Where in MMA is the total opposite.
Right, so it's get him out of there as soon as possible.
Yeah. So wrestling. Yeah, you have to be all in it. As far as the training and the psychological part, for sure. That's probably the hardest part.
That should be a lesson for all you guys that think wrestling's fake. It takes a lot to be a wrestler, man. Those guys really put their bodies out there. I mean, the travel, all that stuff. Like you put your life kind of on halt, when you want to be a wrestler. Like I was telling Eddie, I used to know the Young Bucks before they were the Young Bucks, when they had their own little, ghetto promotion out in the desert. Saw them, do their promotions and stuff, and all the hard work that they put into that just to be where they are now, like barely getting where they are now. It's incredible the amount of work that they had to put into. So if all those people out there that think that wrestling is just, it's just fake, like Eddie was saying, it's pre-scripted, it's still a lot of work, man. And your body takes a lot of damage and all that time. And, if you don't have the passion for it, it's not for you, man.
If they think it's fake, they can come check out where I train.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, people talk shit about MMA fighters too. Come train for a little bit. Just come hang out. Just one 5-minute round. That's all I'm saying. Jump in there for 5 minutes and see if you can do the same shit. So
no, just take a fucking bump in wrestling. Take a wrestling.
There you go.
Bump.
There you go. Exactly. All right. Just real quick, let's take a check at the headlines. Darren Till wants RDA at UFC 224 in Rio, but I think RDA's already got or is supposed to be fighting Woodley, right? So I'm not sure if it was going to happen. And then Alistair Overeem versus Curtis Blades is official for UFC 225 in Chicago.
That poor bastard.
Who? Which one?
Overeem.
Yeah, Overeem's going to die. That's going to be bad. Like, Overeem needs all the horse meat at this point because Curtis Blades can hit, dude, and he can wrestle too. So, fuck.
That's the one that just beat Mark Hunt, right?
What's that?
That's the one that just beat Mark Hunt.
Right. Yeah, like he's that. And the thing is that with Blades, it always weirded me out that no one knew that he could wrestle. That guy could wrestle his ass off, and everyone just like, when he fought Ngannou, just he got the shit kicked out of him. But like, that's just I don't know. I'll tell you what, if do Blades and Ngannou 2 in like a year, I'd say Blades might even take that one. Nothing else on the headlines here. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we head out?
I mean, I just wanted to plug a little bit about Joel, and I wrote I don't know if anybody remembers, I wrote a little story about Joel and his upbringing and how he got into the mixed martial arts game, because like he mentioned before, he was training, or actually he was trying out for Combate Americas, and I mean our other good buddy Ricky Palacios tapped me on the shoulder. He's like, yo, I seen him train over at Uriah Faber's gym. He's like, he's a beast. Watch him. And I mean, when Joel was hitting the bag, I mean, everybody kind of stopped and was scared that like Joel was going to turn around and start kicking other people because that poor bag was crying afterwards, my man. And I've been following Joel for a while just because I cannot wait to see him get into a ring and really do the business to somebody. And I mean, it sucks that Combate is kind of, it all fell through. But I mean, at least Campbell was real excited because he saw the potential that Joel had. And for the guy that, basically started the UFC and all that, to see a potential in a guy just off of some training, that you got something special. So if you guys, follow Joel on his Twitter, on his Instagram, check him out. And, hopefully you guys will support him when the next fight happens, or even in the wrestling, man. We got your back there, Joel. And don't forget about his bees. If you guys want some honey, definitely check my boy out too.
Save those bees always. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you. That means a lot. I wish it would have worked out with Combate Americas, but it was a blessing in disguise. So, through Combate Americas, we met. We're here, and now I met your friend, keyboard warrior. So. I'm thankful for all of this, and thankful to be on here. Follow me on just Twitter. I don't have an Instagram. Just at the Beekeeper MMA, and we'll see where it goes. I want to fight as soon as possible. Hopefully May 4th goes down in order, and if not, whatever event comes next, I'm trying to get on Bellator cards. I'm pretty active on Twitter with calling people out. Trying to get on, certain cards, Bellator cards. I want to fight for Rizin. I don't give a shit as long as they pay and I'm allowed to, wear a mask when I fight. That's one thing. That's one thing about me. You're not gonna see my face ever unless you see me in person.
There you go. And if you're wondering how you got the right Twitter handle, it's at the Beekeeper MMA. And just look at the pinned tweet. It's a dude in a sleeveless shirt with a mask hanging out around a bunch of bees. I can't even be around bees in a suit, dog. Like bees are cool and I love honey and all that, but I am freaked out about pissing off bees, dude. So I'm like, hey man, it's all good. like
my friend Matt Freeman once said, bee suits are for pussies.
There you go. Yeah. Fuck all that, dude. Yeah, I need it. I'll be like, hey, Joel, you're on your own, dog. I'll be waiting in the truck. I'm gonna hang out over here. You do you, dog. Anyway. So make sure you guys follow him on Twitter at the Beekeeper MMA. Of course, you guys know Fred Kirby's at Kirby_MMA. Jesse's at Spawat1983. I'm at Ela31, and the team is over at Keyboard War or at Keyboard MMA. Yeah. Shout out to repthewarriors.com, and of course spiciespros.com. And make sure you check out fucking Joel's Twitter. I was looking for your Instagram and I completely just spaced it. You said you don't have one, so Oh, good. All right.
I deleted it.
Yeah. You know what? If you have every social media thing, it becomes a bit fucking much to keep up with. So I don't blame you at all.
Instagram became a Thirstagram. I
There you
do
go.
it.
There you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, you can follow Eddie on his new social media, Vero, right? That Vero.
Oh, okay. So I fucked around with this Vero thing. Everyone like fucking people were talking about, oh, just follow me on Vero. So I got bored. I downloaded the app, and now we're on Vero. So if you're on Vero, just type in Eddie Law, you'll find me. It's the weirdest app ever, and it seriously seems to have like no point whatsoever yet. But I said, fuck it, I'll jump into it. And of course, the Snapchat for Keyboard Warriors is Keyboard Warriors MMA. So make sure you check that out. All right, I'm just gonna do it for us tonight. Shout out to everyone in the comments. I know Raider was here, or still is here. Uncle Hank, Joey Tremendous was here early as shit, saying, "Oh Jesus Christ!" Joey Tremendous says, "Whoever downvoted probably ate Joey Diaz's ass." Well, we know in that case we know who ate his ass. Jeremiah, Frederick. I know Musashi was here freaking 4 a.m. from Germany. What up, dude? Appreciate you tuning in. Anyway, everyone that tuned in, appreciate you guys. You guys know that we love you guys. So that's gonna do it for us tonight. Everyone have a good night, good evening, good morning, depending where you are on the planet. And good night, Wilshire.
Thank you, guys.